Boom, boom, skin everybody. Welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a little bit of Azur laying up today. So we have a collab going on. Looks like it's going to be gone until the 7th of December. So that's going to take us through the holiday season here. The collab is, of course, with Atelier Ryza. So if you've seen that before, then you might be familiar with some of the characters. So give it us a full quite a few of the characters. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the build first, as you can see what the characters are going to be getting. So they've got Glaus, they've got Abelheim, Stout, Valence, and Desire. So these are characters from the actual thing. Valence is available inside of the shop, so you'll be able to get her there. And you can get another character inside of the actual, not there, inside of the actual reward, as always. You've got Cal ideas here, so you can get her from here. So make sure that you do that. It's 10,000, of course, and then you can, of course, get multiple copies as you go through the actual, as always. So there's really nothing different in terms of that. And you just basically feed impunity as you level up the actual thing to get the rewards. I've got an event hub. You want to actually do the Operation Hot Spring, do that once a day. Okay, you do that, clear it once a day, and at the end of the 7th day, you'll be able to get the hot spring that you can put in your actual. It's limited furniture, so you can put that in your actual in the dorm with it. So it's something that something that you want to take a part at. Other than that, it's pretty much very similar to all of the other actual events that we have. Okay, so there's nothing different. It's just a different, of course, layout and a skin for the actual event, because it, so they're basing it, but it's basing it through the collab. Now they've got a bunch of other stuff which are actually a little bit different. So let's go take a look at that. The first thing you've got is we've got the request board. Now this request board is actually as you go through doing the actual archipelago sorties, you will be getting the rewards will be commensurate to what you need to complete a lot of these, and you're going to have to do a little bit of farming simply because of the fact that some of these some of the exploration things that you need to complete and whatnot require a certain amount of, like this one requires lightning ore, this one requires 3 sardines, and you'll be able to get those inside of the actual sub. This right here is for crafting. Okay, so you can craft recipes here, and you can craft some gear and some items. Okay, so basically you craft these and you do these through the recipes, and it's very intense. As you can see, it requires quite a bit of stuff to make some of these, but as you go through these events, you'll hopefully get it. My thing would be clear everything, okay, and then come back through after you've cleared everything once, and then start mixing and matching based on what you can get in each of the actual events. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got in terms of the actual event. So basic setup here, T1, T2, T3, okay, T4, T5. You'll get a TS1 in there as well. Okay, that's the basic thing. There's really nothing difficult about this. You might want to bring a teeny weeny little bit of healing on T5, simply because the enemy shelling, while you're fighting the battle, you've got support from enemy shelling. If you're in one of the squares or one of the tiles, that's actually, red, a red tile, a red around the actual weapon. So you can get, it doesn't do much damage. Okay, it wasn't a lot of damage, but you might want to bring just a tad bit of healing. Just to good. So maybe stick a San Francisco on the Vanguard in the middle slot. Maybe right on one of the fleets, because those do targeted healing, so they'll heal the ships as as they do damage. And it should be, but I was full health virtually by the time I was finished with it, so I really don't see. I had a high-end fleet, of course, but it shouldn't be a problem. Second, these are the actual ones that you need to start. This is where the farming is going to go. Okay, So you're basically just going to be doing these, and as you can see, it'll tell you exactly what you need to get. So look at the recipes, okay, and farm the ones that are associated. I think you're going to need to farm each one of these 10 times. Okay, so you come back in a second, complete them, and then I assume you can auto them after that. And then of course you've got your SP. Again, I completed this. I completed it today, so it only took 2 days to knock those out. Today's the second day. It's not that difficult either. Again, a little bit of shelling going on, but nothing that should cause a medium or high level team any type of problems. If you do, just throw some healing in there, and it shouldn't be a problem. There's numerous ships that can do some healing, so keep that in mind. And that's underneath. This is what's called the gathering site. So as you can see, so basically, normally in our events we have you have the A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, and then that's the normal, and then C1, C2, C3, D1, D2 are the hard mode. Not going to be any of that. So it's a different sorting format. Basically, it's just the T 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then TS1, which is a story screen, and actually you're going to be spending most of your time doing what they call them TH1, TH2, TH3, TH4, and TH5. Okay, and you're going to need to complete each of those 10 times. Okay, so that's why I'm saying go ahead and complete them and do them 10 times. Then craft all of everything that you need. Then once what's left over, then you can actually, if needed, my assumption is, and don't hold me to this, my assumption is you'll probably pretty much be able to complete all of these by the time you've done 10 of these, each of 10, so that's 50 runs, 10, 20, 30, okay. So my assumption is you're probably going to have most of what you need to actually complete the request board after you've completed these explorations of TH1, T2 10 times. Okay, that's my assumption. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start knocking them out and be able to get a little idea. Now, so we've got a lot of new ships. I got lucky. I actually pulled Stout immediately. The first pull, the first 5 that I did, I got Stout. So one down, I'll be able to get an idea inside of the actual special mini event for her, and then you'll be able to get balance inside the shop. Let's go ahead and take a look at the shop. One thing I did notice is yesterday I completed several of the, I completed T1, T2 yesterday. I didn't have time to farm it as much as I wanted to. I did not see a 3 times 3 on these today. Okay, so that's a little worrisome. You normally rely on times 3 running those to get obtain a lot of the actual items that you're going to need. In this case, it's crystal clusters, but so you might have to spend a little bit more time on this event than normally to get the actual things. But if you don't get, but you can get her from here, 8,000 as always. Gear skip box. The rest of the thing is pretty much common. Cognitive chips, cognitive arrays. You want to get all the parts. Okay, you might want to snatch up some of the blueprints as well. Augmentation modules with anything left over. So yeah, it's a full set. Now the shop, of course, will be open until the 14th, but the actual sorties run till the 7th. So make sure that you do keep that in mind. In terms of missions, whatnot, nothing really that much of a different. As you can see from the actual event, gear skin boxes, clear the EX, obtain explorer sculpture through synthesis. So specialty things. So, but there's a whole other lineup here set on this. 12/7, so a couple of weeks, but yeah, just make sure that you do focus on that. I'm not exactly sure, what this is going to be. My assumption is after you do each of these 10 times, you'll have enough to complete most of the things. There's also core nexus. Cores can actually give you boosts. Okay, and these boosts can help. My assumption is you probably, increases your ship's firepower, uh, evasion, and torpedo by 3%. They give you this one. I don't expect them to be that difficult. Okay, the stages. So I really don't know if that's something. If you're a newer player, it might be useful, but probably not something that's going to be too much required for that. So that's everything that's up in that. Let's take a look. So the collab, the milestone, rapid training. This started as well last week, so you should be probably finished through this. You get a bunch of skill books in the wisdom cubes. They still have the 10 set up, so make sure that you're doing 10 of these a day. Okay, it's just a super fast way to get through leveling up your characters much faster. 10 times for free is really good, as long as you got the books, of course. So keep that in mind and continue on with that. Like I say, the actual event, you might want to throw a little bit of healing at T5, but you should be able to get through it. So these events are not much in terms of that. The story's pretty interesting. Okay, then jump over to the SP. The THs, clear these out 10 times. It's got percentage marks on it, so you should be able to get through it. If you take a look at the actual thing, it's basically, yeah, it's not the actual, you don't have the actual 3 request requirement that's normal, like you have to beat the boss, kill all enemies on one screen, and then kill a certain number of enemies on each of the actual levels. That gets your 3-star. Nothing like that. This is basically just completed 10 times. Okay, so just do it. Get to the boss. Do it. Get the boss 10 times. So not that big a deal. It's just a little bit annoying that you have to do it 10 times. You should be able to complete it. My assumption is after you've completed it once, you should be able to auto it. I would hope, but we'll have to see. But it could be a little bit of a grind on this particular one. But then after you've done that, go back and start crafting everything that you need. Okay, and go from there. But it's interesting. The story was it's a pretty basic story. Standard collab. Storyline. They get jumped over to the place. Transported to another world. Figure out the maze, the puzzle. Get transported back. Okay, so nothing world breaking, as they say here. So just keep that in mind, and make sure that you do try to get and knock it out. Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit more involved because of this crafting, but it's nice to throw something new in there, and instead of just having the standard old, A1, A2, B3, D3. Having those, we have something a little bit different on the second phase instead of a hard mode. I assume the THs will be a little bit harder, but I don't expect them to be something that will be earth-shattering. But you do have those core buffs. So keep that in mind, that if you're having trouble, you can throw, craft some of those cores and put them in to give you a little bit extra. But if you have a mid to high level team, I don't expect it to be much different. They're not going to make it too difficult because they want everybody to participate in the event. And like I said, it's going to be up until the 7th, so we've got plenty of time. So just go ahead and keep into it, keep into the grind, and keep an eye on things. Try to finish it. I'm going to try to finish it up within the week, and that'll give me another week to just focus on making sure I get all the crafting and whatnot done, so that I don't come up short at the end of the event. And then after that, of course, try to get the ships. But remember, you have to keep in mind that the pity is 300 for your ships. So keep that in mind when you're doing the builds. Okay, you want to make sure that you have. When your ship drops, you want to make sure that you have 300. Like I say, I had to go to the pity on the last ship, Musashi. I had to go all the way to 300. It's 150 people, but 300 cubes is what you need to actually do it. So you want to try to make sure that you have that on tap. So try to throwing this in the middle here, and then having new ships from a collab. We'll have to make a determination as to whether or not it's something that you want to focus that much on. You can get cubes fairly quick, but you never want to be caught with your pants down when UR comes, because you want to get the UR ships because the UR ships are better than the other ships. That's just the way they are. They come and they're a little bit more powerful. So you want to try to get them when they come out. Uh, these ships, we'll do reviews on each of them. But so far, really, a lot of the collab ships, if you actually look at the ships in Azur Lane, you'll see that really there's no collab ships that actually are in that, that top tier. I mean, there are some good ones out there, but there's not a whole lot. You know, it's not like Grand Cross, Seven Deadly Sins, where some of the collab characters are exceedingly powerful. They just had the cross, the RE0 cross collab with RE0, and then of course the collab they recently had with the Shield Hero. Those characters that they come out of there were actually really powerful, and you'll find a lot of them being used in PvP and whatnot. These slightly different. PvP is not really something that a lot of people focus on inside of this game, and you can build a PvP team. I've done it fairly free to play. So, but none of the I don't see any of these ships actually button into the PvP meta. So, in terms of that, I know get them. If you're a collector like me, I'm going to try to get them all. Keep an eye on my cubes. Don't want to use too many. Like I say, I've already done. I've done 10 pools and I've already got stout, and we'll be able to get that. So I need to get to little Patricia and inside. So I'm going to do it. I'll give it a go, and we'll see what we get. Let's go ahead and do a 5 pool just to be on the actual. Because there is a very interesting animation. So if you watch it, see it's got the actual images from the actual thing popping up. At first, I thought that was going to be like awesome, but it does that all the time. Okay, so I just got another. So you really don't have any way to know. And I just got Lily and Sarah, so that's exceedingly lucky. Tosa and Suzu. That was actually a very good pool. I don't think, yeah. So I got Lily and Sarah. Well, that was easy. I might have to spend too much cubes. So it looks like now I just need to get Patricia, and I'll be all set. Because I got Sarah, I got Stout on the first 5. So in 15 pools, I've got Lila, Stout, and I've got Sarah. So that's really good. I'm happy about that. So I just need to get my hands on Patricia because, like I say, Valencia's in the shop. I want to build her. That would save 8,000 of the actual crystal clusters. But yeah. So I just need to get my hands off Patricia. And I've only used 15 pools. I like that. That's saving my actual thing. But we'll go ahead and review the ships a little bit later once we've had a chance to get them out there and play around with them and see what they're good. But in the meantime, just enjoy the actual event, especially if you're a fan of the actual anime. So it might be something very interesting. In terms of actual, they really didn't give us a whole lot. Standard compensation fare was this 3,000 oil, 2,500 coins, and they gave us sodas as always, 10 sodas. It's just like the standard. I was expecting a little bit more on since considering this is a Black Friday shopping day. So didn't see anything yet. Might give us something a little bit later in the actual week, But normally, on Black Friday, I was expecting they had something inside of Mobile Legends. They had they didn't give us. They gave us a nice little handful of Soul Jade for a gift. Didn't see anything here, but maybe we'll see something tomorrow or something like that. In terms of that, but other than that, just enjoy the actual thing. They got some new outfits up, but I'm not going to show you the outfits because they're really, they're really not something that you could run afoul of the YouTube censors with some of those. But they do have new skins up if you are interested in that. I'm really not don't really much do with the skins myself. So, but keep an eye on it. Like I said, run those 10, the TH. Run them 10 times, each of them 10 times, because that says a requirement from within the actual request board. Then see what's left over. Okay. My assumption is you'll have mostly everything that you need after you've run each of them 10 times. But we'll do a video in a few days after I've had a chance to run some of them and see what they're like. Yeah, keep an eye on the build. Same same format from that, so there's nothing different there. All right, so thanks a lot for watching. Happy Thanksgiving. If you didn't watch any video, I did a video yesterday. I mentioned happy things, but happy Thanksgiving again. And be careful if you're going out there shopping. As you know, this is one of the biggest shopping days of the year. So it can get a little dangerous out there in some locations. So hopefully, everybody, no big incidents, but stay safe out there. All right. So again, thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe. Once you've subscribed, you'll see the bell. Click on it. You get notified each time. I do drop a video, so remember to like and share the video, as it does help the channel immensely. Kendra, coming at you from the corner, signing out.